Marlon speaks live, yeah, I'm saying what they hide. History uncensored, let the real survive. Yeah, it's truth over comfort, I don't pick no side. If it shake the room a little, let the truth collide. Cause it's Marlon speaks live, no script, no disguise. I don't sell no lies, just to monetize. Cause the past still breathing and it never dies. Yeah, it's Marlon speaks live, now the truth will rise. Yo, it's Marlon speaks live, yeah, I'm saying what they hide. History uncensored, let the real survive. Welcome back, welcome back. Another episode, Marlon Speaks Live. Yeah, so man, I got a special clip that I want to share with you guys. Yeah, I'm just gonna start it off.
What have we become here? This isn't us. How did we let this happen?
This is who we've always been.
Exactly. Yep.
This country has never been great for everybody.
Never.
It was designed to benefit white people, specifically 21-year-old landowning white men. Period. Hard stop.
Yep.
And every demographic or gender outside of that has had to fight against the white man just to be equal.
Yep. See, as much as Paul, seemed to be, standing up for what's right, I'm willing to bet I can get him to, I can get some of that racism out of him too. And this is why I say that. Because white don't exist. And if you ever listen to Paul Lance, well, actually, I'm going to put this video in the description. I'm going to do it now. I'm going to put this in the description. I'll go over there and check out his content. It's very enlightening. He's wide awoke. He say a lot of stuff I say. Just... he don't have melanin. I wish he would use that terminology, non-melanin, because he gives credence. He substantiates a lot of these white people that, that sound like us. I think they coming to our rescue, and they don't realize without us, they wouldn't even have life. So they're not white either. They just don't have melanin. So I think a lot of the people like Paul, they believe in white supremacy too. They just don't agree with it. You could believe in something and not agree with it at the same time. So that's all. That's just my, sidebar on him. But I think he got a good heart. And I think a lot of racist people got good hearts. So that's needless to say, But yeah, let's continue.
Go back to the Middle Passage. 1.4 million black people died on ships. Segregation, Jim Crow, women's suffrage movement, Asians in internment camps. We murdered millions of Native Americans and just took their land. We started a war with Mexico and took that land. We took the land from King Kamehameha in Hawaii. All we've done as a white people, we're like locusts. We take and we take and we take and we take. That's what you're seeing right now. A white man taking Venezuela. A white man taking Greenland. A white man probably going after Colombia.
Yeah. And this is why I say, people like Paul I think they're a little misguided, because I don't think he even realized what I just said. Like, he's not white. Race don't exist. Like, we have to do some real deep rewiring to fix this bull crap. First of all, we got to fix the words that's coming out of our mouth, the thoughts that's within our brains. That's where we start. And then we got to pay attention to our actions. I believe people like Paul, this guy right here, I believe they are very well intentioned. But I made a video about this, and I'm going to add that video to the end of this so y'all can go. And I'm going to put that in the description, where talking about black people is a recipe for success. Talking about them in any way, good or bad. You know, if you talk about them bad, though, you'll blow all the way up, especially on YouTube. But in general, any media, the recipe is talk about black people. Especially if you talk about them in a bad way, you're going to get very rich. That's what the newspapers in the 1800s learned that, all the way up to today. The movies, you know, Hollywood, the news, you know, the modern day news, and nowadays the podcasters. If you talk about black people, that's a recipe for success. So, and when I say black, I don't even mean black. I really mean God. So that's what we call black represent. We represent God. Period. Like, nothing more, nothing less. And everybody else is a version of God. We all represent God. Put it like that. Every one of us and everything in our world. So we got to start speaking about who we are in the spiritual context. And that's the only way to mitigate and challenge this false ideology of white supremacy. This is not even real to begin with. Like none of it is real. White isn't real, and definitely not supreme. Like, how can you be supreme when you so insecure and you want to go take over every dang on thing with aggression? That's weakness. It's weakness. Very weak, actually.
Let's be real. Today is the 5th year of January 6th. A white man lied about an election because he didn't like the results. White people went to the U.S. Capitol and beat officers. 5 of them died after that day. 4 from PTSD, and Officer Sitnik died from his injuries the following day. Many officers had heart attacks, crushed vertebrae, PTSD. The entire world saw.
I get what he's trying to do, though. He's trying to be accountable. He's trying to at least acknowledge, you know what I'm saying, these atrocities. So I think if all white America followed behind Paul and then gave black Americans their reparations, man, we could move forward in a very prosperous way and collaborate with the rest of the world. They see what we doing at home. They gonna want to work with us. You know, we'll get all of that money back, that, man, 10 times over that's invested in black America. We'll get it back 10 times over. That's the key, not tariffs. The key is reparations. That's how you heal and then you grow. That's it. You heal and grow through it. We haven't grown through nothing. That's why this country is going backwards in a way, in a bad, very bad way. America was never great. And if we go back to that in these times, we're going to be way worse off than we ever been. Depression, that's the America that this country, when MAGA talk about making America, that's the great that they talking about. Depression in the 30s, but 10 times worse.
And this country said, yep, that's the guy I want back in power. The rapist, the child molester, the convicted felon, the pedophile.
Yeah, so like, it says a whole lot about the people here. See, white America has a rape culture. And that's something that white America don't like to talk about. But white America has a deep rape culture. And the only way that we got European blood in us is through rape. Black Americans wouldn't have no European blood in them if it wasn't for rape. So we are a part of that rape culture. Black Americans exist in the form that we exist in, with all these different shades, all these different hair textures, all these different eye colors, because of rape. Yeah. So yeah. That culture is embedded in white America. So I think subliminally a lot of white America like that Trump and Epstein was like that. They like it. You know, not in the sense of like enjoy it, but I think, you know, when you are traumatized, you condition. Some people re-traumatize people after they're traumatized. Some people guard against it and never allow it to happen again. But I think that, you know, like I said, that percentage of people that re-traumatize others, it's a lot of them that voted for that like Trump in that exact form. They want him to rape. They want him to be a rapist because they was probably raped or they raped people. Yeah, it's a whole lot. And Mexican culture. That rape is deeply embedded in Mexican culture. Nobody want to talk about it though, do they?
A man who cheats on his wife with a porn star.
That's
the
American
guy who asked
culture.
for the execution of 5 black men, grab women by the pussy, grab them by the blah blah blah, calling women piggy, calling them fat, calling them ugly, telling 30,000 lies, having dinner with Nick Fuentes. And white people.
This country built on lies. This country's built on that. See, that's what, like, when that guy that, you know, like, and all these people that I hear, and I've been hearing in my whole life, this isn't how America, this isn't. Yes, it is. This country is exactly everything that we see has been going on. It was built on murder, built on rape, built on just terrorizing. Yeah. That's what this that's the foundation. It's just white America don't like to see it. They like to pretend that it's not. Oh, no. I remember, so yesterday, I said yesterday was like the day after Obama got elected because white people didn't want to have no eye contact. And so yesterday was the day after that lady got, you know, taken out by ICE. See, white people don't like to address nothing. They like to dress over everything. They do not want to address anything. They would rather dress over everything. So yeah, man.
Already went to the booth and said, "This is really hard. It's either that, the guy that talks about Hannibal Lecter and electric sharks and how windmills cause cancer, who stares at the sun without sunglasses, or the black woman, the most qualified candidate in the history of our country." And this country voted like it always does for the most morally bankrupt, unqualified.
All his videos say the same thing though. That's why I keep pausing it, because I've seen his videos before and he keeps saying it. He like on replay. But he get a lot of traction just by doing this. I guess when you find your algorithm, that's what you're supposed to do. But so I be all over the place, as y'all might see, and that's just how my mind works. But I'm gonna say this, man. This country loves. That's why sports is so popular. That's why just any distraction is so popular. Movies, you know, man. Like when, like on a day like yesterday, if you go up to a total stranger and talk about the Lions here in Michigan, or you can have a great conversation. You bring up what happened to that lady in Minnesota. Oh man, it's gonna go all bad. They don't want to talk about. Oh no, I don't want to talk about that. See, and that's an example. I think it was Eleanor Roosevelt that said, "Small minds speak about people. Medium range minds speak about events like football, basketball, you know, sporting events. But great minds speak about ideas." And when I heard that, I said, "Wow, that's profound. That's profound." And I guess I always had a great mind. I don't like sports. You know, I don't like talking about people at all. That's why, most of the successful black podcasters, even on my channel, I notice an uptick when I talk about rappers. And I guess that's what the algorithm want me to do. Talk about rappers. Nah. The only way I do it is I put it in a certain context of, something that match, my message. But that's it. I got a video kind of going crazy for my channel right now. I gave a reaction to T.I., the rapper, doing comedy. And, oh man, that's going crazy. Talking about stuff like that, and that's small-minded shit, right? But I made it great because I spoke about an idea, within that. But just great ideas is, without speaking about people, this algorithm don't want me to do that. I see it. These videos that I do, these type of videos, they get 2 or 3 views, 5, 10 views. Here I am sharing the greatest ideas ever, but nobody want to see that. You know what I'm saying? People in this country, seeing this, how you know this place is like Sodom and Gomorrah, because this place, America, has a reprobate mind, meaning it's wrong and they want to stay wrong. No accountability. And that's why when people say, oh, this isn't America, it's been America. What? See, the worse this country get, the more people like to try to forget. And that's why it's getting worse and worse and worse with each generation.
White man, just because he's white. And we still today refuse to have the difficult conversation that part of this country was triggered by a black man in the White House instead of out in the fields picking their cotton.
Exactly. Yeah.
So they went back to the plantation owner, what they know. They would rather burn this country to the ground than thrive under a black woman.
Yep. And this is the exact moment we need a strong, powerful goddess in office. A woman made in God's image. We need that to save this country from itself. That's what a black woman in position of power is going to do for this country right now. Save it from itself. Correct it. Make people look within. Look, man, that's what need to happen. People need to be forced to look within. The civil rights movement was trying to force the law. That in that generation, they just forced the law. People's minds wouldn't change. Right now, we got to change the inside. The laws was just changing outside, the exterior. Now it's time for some internal changing. Some different ways of thinking. That's what time it is now. So I kind of agree with, it ain't no reason for the civil rights. Well, I don't agree. We need the Civil Rights Act and all of that, but we need more. And like I said, the thing that we need more is that internal, law that people have to start to re-educate, rewiring their minds to think like, not only is no one superior or supreme, we all represent God. And we have to, this is so important. This is the key. We have to acknowledge that the melanated person is the original. Without that original, it wouldn't be no other. So we have to honor the first. Just like you honor your mother and father, we have to honor as a human species, we have to honor the original version of that species. Or just like what that Bible say, when you don't honor your mother and father, you will be cursed. So our people represent the mother and father of the human species. And we should be honored, not lied on, all these different lies about who we are and what we represent and the hood and all this bull crap. No, just God. That's it. Simple. God. Oh, I see. Oh, this melanated man, that's a man made in God's image. Oh, wow. Hi. Just like when you're happy to see your mother and father. Same exact thing. That's what we represent.
And white people are walking around like, this isn't who we are. Yeah, it's who we've always been. White privilege has kept you safe from it, has shielded it from you. And even now, while immigrants are being mistreated, good people that work hard, that bust their ass, that are good people, that love this country more than MAGA does, actual patriots that love this country. We're watching women getting dragged through the snow with one arm, losing their pregnancies. We got immigrants in concentration camps losing their lives, getting one meal a day, 2 showers a week. Over 200 U.S. citizens have been arrested because they're racially profiling people. And we're just sitting around, well, I don't want to talk politics because I don't want to upset a friend. And we're doing what we've always done as white people.
Yeah.
Going right back into our privilege because it doesn't affect me.
Exactly. But see, that white woman getting killed, it's really striking a chord in white America because they like, hold up, they're killing us now? Listen, they've been killing y'all. If they was killing anybody, they was killing everybody. And that's what they were saying about Nazi Germany. Nazi Germany, they said, well, look, damn, if they kill the Jews, nobody say nothing. Then they kill these people, nobody say nothing. Then when they get to us, it won't be nobody to even speak up for. Yeah, we at that point now. It ain't nobody to speak up for white people. Nobody. You know why? Because they've been doing this to everybody else forever. Now y'all ain't got nobody to speak up for y'all. That's what's going on.
And you think that somehow, because you participated in a No Kings protest in April, July, and October on a Saturday outside of working hours, that you deserve a participation trophy because you did something. And you woke up and you made signs and you high-fived and you went to watch Netflix, or you went to a baseball game, or you went to a football game. And what did you do? Did you go on a general strike? Oh no, I can't do that. I can't afford to. That's too uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Have you stopped paying taxes? Oh no, that's too uncomfortable. Have you posted on social media? Oh no, I don't want to affect work. I don't want to upset Uncle Bob because he might talk to me during Christmas. Did you stop spending on Black Friday? No, I can't do that. I need the discounts for Christmas. What are you willing to do? Because I haven't seen enough people that look like me.
They ain't willing to do nothing, bro. That's why Black Americans are like, we don't care about that Democrat, and we don't care nothing about that shit. Y'all on your own with that politics shit for the most part. Now, I will say this. It's important that everybody vote to get this out of here. And then after we get Trump out of there, we still got a whole lot of work to do. Like I said, some inside work. Everybody. Especially Black Americans. Especially Black Americans. Because we so traumatized within our minds and within our spirit that a lot of us believe what the oppressor put on us. We believe it ourselves. So we got a whole lot of soul searching to do within our community. We probably worse off than any community within here. A whole lot of us. We believe what they told us about ourselves. We believe we from the hood. We believe we supposed to sell drugs. We believe we supposed to terrorize our own neighborhoods. That's why y'all will never really see me, focusing on that type of content on my channel, because I don't agree with it at all. So, yeah, I agree with 100% accountability. Within our culture, we have to be accountable for believing lies that somebody told us about ourselves. Within white America, They got to be accountable for the lies that they've been telling themselves about themselves. That's what Paul talking about. Okay, finish, Paul.
Willing to be uncomfortable.
Real talk.
That's the problem. We will not remember the voices of our enemies, rather the silence of our friends. And right now, that's what white people are doing. You, white people, including myself, are responsible for this.
Talking.
Through our silence. Just like the 3 officers stood by while George Floyd was murdered, we're sitting by and watching it happen because we think that our privilege will keep us safe. You're complicit in it, and you're complicit in it, and you're complicit in it. I don't do politics means I have white privilege and I'm going to hide behind it as long as I can because it doesn't affect me. Don't wave your gold cross at me and say you love your neighbor as yourself when the only person you care about is yourself.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Man, he talking.
I do this because I was named after Paul, and I consider myself an imperfect person in all aspects, but I consider myself a person of faith. And I might not know all the answers to everything, but I know one thing. If Jesus was here and saw what was happening in this country, I'll be goddamned if he wouldn't be out there protesting every day. He would be on a strike.
Right. See, this is where kind of like where I might go left on Paul. Yeah. I honestly don't think. I just don't. I personally don't think any white Americans really understand what the spirit is, what spirituality really is, right? So you got to know what spirituality really is to even become a part of a religion. Yeah, it's not about going to no church, for one. It's not about reading this Bible. It's not about none of that. It's about knowing who you are within, being able to project that, and your actions, your heart, your mind, your body, everything in one, right? Everything in alignment, and just going out to sacrificing, like he said. He is tapped in. I will say that Paul is tapped in. So man, I feel what he's talking about. So maybe he fully took that red pill, man. Because I really feel like he did. I feel like he did a lot of work on himself to be able to talk like this. So yeah, I feel God when I hear him talk. I feel it. I do, and I usually don't feel it from most white people, man, but I feel it from him.
Every day, he would be turning over tables in churches and synagogues and the Congress and the Senate.
He would.
And he would do everything he could to stand up for justice.
Mm-hmm.
Until this country decides to do that, you're going to get what you deserve.
Yeah, and I'm going to add, we are versions of God. So if you believe in God, all you really got to do is look in the mirror and you become a manifestation. We are all a manifestation of the Most High. Yeah, you are a living, walking, breathing version of God. No one is a mistake. We all have purpose. We just have to tap into it. Be steadfast, stand on it, and do not deviate.
This man is doing what white men always do, is they take and they take and they take and they take. He's going to take Venezuela. He's going to take Cuba. He's going to take Greenland. And we're just going to sit by and say, oh, let's wait for the midterms. It doesn't matter who wins the midterms. Why do you still think the Democrats are going to save us? They are not up for this fight. This is not about politics. It's about white supremacy. For too long, we thought that we made progress. We never did. What we're seeing is the remnants of the lost cause. The only difference, other than the year, is that Donald Trump, the rapist pedophile, told them, be who you are. Come out of the closet. Leave your white hoods at home and put on your red hats. I'll support you. And that's what you're seeing.
Yeah.
That's why you see white nationalists all over the country now, because they're emboldened by the racist, white supremacist grand wizard in the White House. This isn't rocket science.
It sure isn't.
And everybody's saying, who's going to save us? We're not willing to be uncomfortable. Nobody's coming to save you. It doesn't matter if a Democrat wins. It's not going to stop what's wrong with this country. Donald Trump is a symptom of white supremacy.
Exactly.
It'll be J.D. Vance next. Or some other far-right Pharisee.
Nick Fuentes.
Some other white nationalist that's afraid of a white minority. It's going to be somebody else. Until we fix the root of this problem, we will never be a great country for everybody.
Yes, that's true.
And we've got here because we have propagandized generations of people in this country, and we've told ourselves that we're the best of the best of the best of the best, and it's a lie. We raise our kids in American flag diapers, and we eat our freedom Wheaties before we go to school, and we talk about freedom and guns and Second Amendment and bald eagles and more freedom, and throw in God once in a while and sprinkle in a gold cross or some other symbol of nationalism.
Straight
and
devil.
we go to baseball games and we worship the flag, and we go to school and we worship the flag.
Exactly. Straight devil.
And before we leave the house, we feed our pet bald eagle, and we get in our truck and put on 400,000 million American flags because we don't want our neighbors to forget that we're patriots. And then we polish the Constitution. And then we don't put on seatbelts because we're patriots. We don't want to be confined by safety. Screw that. Yeah, we're anti-vaxxers. Yeah, we're patriots. And then you turn up God Bless America so the entire state of California can hear you, and you go to work. But first, you got to go in your house and get 500 billion guns and put them in your back seat because you're a patriot. And it's nationalism.
Running loose.
Patriotism is doing what I'm doing and standing up for the people that the flag represents. I was at a protest at an ICE facility in Las Vegas last year. And it was interesting. I was there, and it was almost all Latinos and Latinas. They were having their chicle and their quinceañeras. And you know what? They had an American flag that was half American and half Mexican. I was like, you know what? That's what America is. And at that moment, I knew that those people, whether they were immigrants, whether they were citizens, I didn't care. They were good people. That's what I care about. They loved this country more than MAGA did.
Oh, yeah.
Because MAGA wants people to love this country the way that they want. Which is white, 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 white.
He going in. Oh, wow. Woo, he's going in. I say some of the same stuff, but it hit different when he said. That's why I like watching his videos. I'm like, man, he going in. He tearing their ass down. He is the polar opposite of Charleston White. Polar opposite. Like, he literally get on his people ass. He gets on white men's ass, man. And he wants them to be accountable. And I don't think nothing is wrong with that. What's wrong with white men being held accountable? They get off everything. Now they getting off murdering a woman right on camera. Come on, man. You never have no accountability. You just gonna end up destroying yourself. And that's why Black America really not even playing around with these white men. We just letting their momentum carry them over the cliff. They will destroy themselves. The sad part about it is they take a whole lot of other people with them in the process. Yeah, let's continue. Wow, man.
They're stuck on symbolism and nationalism. And the people on the right have done a damn good job of indoctrinating a bunch of uneducated, racist white people in the South.
Yeah, they have. Yep.
To weaponize.
As much as this administration is trying to frame like the shooter of Charlie Kirk and this lady that just got killed, as being influenced by leftists, and they were influenced. They didn't know what they were doing. They were influenced by the whole MAGA movement has been indoctrinated and influenced literally by this administration, by their hate and vitriol for Obama being elected in 2008. Y'all go check out my video I did about the day after Obama and give y'all my version of how that day went. And y'all share how y'all day went the day after Obama got elected. I want to hear from everybody because that was a very polarizing day.
Religion through abortion and being gay, that the liberals are the enemy and they're all going to hell and they're evil. And it's been a lie. But yet somehow when they vote for a rapist and a convicted felon and a pedophile, somehow, hey, no one's perfect. Wow. And that's the hypocrisy, because that's what it is. It has never been about God or Jesus.
Never, because these are the devils.
And I'll remind you that the KKK and the lynchings didn't let black people sit in church. In fact, they would lynch black people and leave them outside hanging from the tree after the Sunday service, and then all the white people would be in their nice clothes and take pictures because, you know, nothing says we're a Christian nation.
Yep. I got a documentary called The Hidden Crime, White on White Violence in America. And I spoke about that. And yeah, that's a very deep topic. And I'm gonna tell y'all like this. All I'm gonna say is reverse lynchings. Yeah.
But that's the lie that they told people. That we're a Christian nation. Lynchings, Jim Crow, segregation, tearing out the fetuses of black women, using babies for bait for alligators.
Yeah. Reverse alligator bait. Yeah. See, I don't necessarily believe in eye for an eye. I believe in something worse than that. I believe in body for a body. Like you the police take my son. Yeah, you figure you do the math. That's all I can say. I don't want no marching. I don't want no protesting. No. My man in Cincinnati, whose son got taken out by the, yeah, but what he did was wrong because he targeted he some random, like no, you got to be specific, and that's the only way. Like growing up, I fought bullies. I targeted the bullies intentionally. Me and my brother, we targeted the bullies. That's the only way to get them to not fuck with you. You got to fuck the bully up. Fuck his ass up, and then guess what? He gonna want to be your friend. That's the only way. And that's why white America keep fucking with black America. That's why they keep fucking with all non-white people.
The Middle Passage, where 1.4 million people died. The Trail of Tears, Wounded Knee, Asian internment camps. Black people not sitting in church or same schools, but hey, we're a Christian nation. But what that means is that we're a white nation. That's what it means. When you hear traditional family values, that means you could be a white man that rapes women and molests little girls and be president, because that's traditional family values. White. When are we going to finally face the original sin of this country? We didn't make progress during the civil rights movement. We
never. And that's the issue. This country will never do that. So yeah, Paul Lance, all this stuff is lofty. Like, you know, they're aspirational, but they're not grounded in no kind of reality. So but you know, it makes for great content. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of like, you know, man, that's job security. You know what I'm saying? Like, he will forever be blowing up on YouTube as long as America isn't accountable. So it's kind of like a good thing.
Suppressed it behind a dam. And this plantation owner in the White House, this grand wizard, has opened that dam. And it's so full that the water's coming over the top of the dam, and it's about to crack open. And the Stephen Millers and the Steve Bannons of the world and the Marco Rubio who wants to be close to whiteness and the Lindsey Grahams, they're all going to kiss up to the white man because he is their Hail Mary to save their version of traditional family values from the non-white people taking it over. When are we going to address it, people? It was never about the price of eggs or gas. They were never going to vote for the black woman. And when you look at the Zohran Mamdani race, the only demographic that did vote for him, white people. Harrison Trump, white people. Go look at the early polling for Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico. I know it's shocking, but the majority of people that aren't voting for her, white men and women and Latino men, because there is a hint of misogyny in those people. They're not a monolith, but you see the same demographics vote for the man again and again and again. And for those of you that are still not believing that this is a sexist, misogynist country, why don't you ask yourself this question? Why is it that half of our country are women? 50%. And in 249 years, we've never had a woman president. That we would rather have a pedophile, rapist, convicted felon, white man as the president than the most qualified black woman.
Yeah, man. Women.
It's misogyny.
Women are so important. I love a strong woman, man. I love a strong woman. I cannot be in a relationship with no weak woman. I need a woman to challenge me every step of the way. That motivate me. That keep me inspired. You know what I mean? A lot of men, I realize they want a docile, weak woman. And I think a lot of women suffer from what a lot of black people suffer from. Like, they believe the worst about themselves. They don't have like high self-esteem. You know, they've been traumatized. Just to be honest, they've been traumatized. And so a lot of women, just like I said earlier, a lot of women re-traumatize others from their trauma. That's why you see mothers and daughters always, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times, mother and daughter don't get along very well. That's because that mother trying to re-traumatize that daughter. A lot of times. I mean, not, it's not always the case, but, yeah. So
maintaining the white male patriarchy is more valuable than morality and decency, integrity, and honesty. And I voted for John McCain and I voted for Barack Obama. I even voted for Ross Perot. I have voted all across the aisle. They were decent people. I had respect for them. They had integrity, decency, kindness. I would have been fine with either one of them winning. But what we've done...
John McCain voted against Martin Luther King Day becoming a holiday. He was the only senator that voted against it. And that came back to bite him in the ass in the 2008 election that he voted for him in. Yeah. So, Paul, I'm sorry, man. We don't agree on everything, but I don't agree with nobody on everything. I'm always going to have some discourse. And that's what I love about, back and forth. I love discourse. Like, I don't like agreeing with everything nobody says. So I will purposely be the devil's advocate a whole lot of times. So yeah, he about done though.
Now is completely abdicated all that for white supremacy. And that's a damn shame. It's time that we finally have this conversation. Have a white day.
He said have a white day. Oh man. I always enjoy Paul's content, man. He is he's special, man. And so let me see here. I don't think I added that link in the description, but I'm going to add it right now. Yeah, he is Paul one of one. He's one of one, man. I haven't seen no content like his. None on YouTube. And it's amazing that he got that lane sold up like that. It's no one even remotely talking like he's talking. Like he sound like he got some melanin, and a lot of white Americans do got melanin in them. You know, maybe that's what's going on with him. Maybe that melanin is coming out, 4, 5, 6 generations. I know one of my coworkers, she did a DNA 23andMe test, and she was so happy to come to work and tell me, because I was like the only black guy in the department, and she was so happy to tell me I'm an 8th black. I said, word? And this straight up white woman. She had red hair and everything. I said, okay. Every time I talked to her after that, I brought it up. You know what I'm saying? I never let her forget that. And I think she was trying to, her way of trying to get, say we got something in common. But I always felt like we had something. But she felt comfortable saying that in the first place because I used to tell her everybody black. I used to always tell her everybody black, everybody originally from Africa. And so when she came back and showed me her test, she's like, yeah, she says on her dad's side. And yeah, so maybe from the slave days. And I said, yeah, that makes sense. It's a lot of white Americans that got African in their blood, like that can be detected, but the DNA that can't be detected, and hopefully they try to figure this out, because it can only go back so many generations. But what they have found is a direct link between one tribe or some certain tribes in Africa and all of the rest of humanity outside of Africa. So that was very interesting. So everybody originally from Africa. I know a lot of racist white supremacy people don't agree with that. I mean, man, you got to imagine you've been fed these lies about humanity and everything and where we all started from. And then most recently, they confirmed that everybody's originally from Africa. And it just, man, nobody want to talk about that. Now, I might be the only, I know I'm not the only, but I might be one of the few who has this format that speak about that. And that's why if y'all go into my description of my channel, you will see that that's what this channel is about. This channel is about me putting the truth and the facts out here about where humanity began and how everybody is black. Everybody is black originally. And that's why, with me knowing that, you have to arm yourself with tools, about who you are and about who we all are, right? That common denominator. So when I interact with anybody, that thought is in my head. It's in my head because I have to keep it there, because I always run across, and this is like 90% of the time, anytime I interact with a non-African American, a melanated person, they always bring up the race shit. And it's like, I think that, especially white Americans, I think they think that they got some kind of superiority, like oh, they supposed to make me feel uncomfortable. And it's like, no, I'm armed with these facts. So as soon as I hear them bring up something about, the neighborhood they grew up in, where I'm from, and then they start, then that leads to, oh, I got some black friends, and then that's when I say, everybody's black. You black. Everybody originally from Africa. And then they shut up after that. I don't, what we talking about? What we really talking about? Because for some reason, you just having a civil, regular conversation, it always lead to that. So that means that's on their mind. So I always combat that with facts. And so that's why I started this channel, to say that. But yeah, Paul not going to say that. You know what I'm saying? He actually, on the flip side, he actually reinforcing white supremacy by even speaking it the way he is. So that's why I don't necessarily I don't necessarily support people like Paul, because I honestly believe that spiritually, a lot of people that talk like Paul, they're still not spiritually, they're still off. You know, that's why that white supremacy stuff is deep within white America. It's deep all over the world. It's deep. Like it's deep, because if you take that away, a lot of them don't have no identity. They've never thought of the concept that, oh, not only am I not supreme, but I come from the people that I've always thought were needed me, like needy people. You know, like, damn, my life depended on their life. Well, like, damn, they're like the inventors of me, as much as white people like to talk about inventions. We invented y'all. Like, black people invented white people. Yo, yeah, man. That was Paul Lantz, one of my favorite YouTubers, and I love his content. Like I said, he talk a lot like me. It's like white face. You know what I'm saying? If I put on white face, y'all know black face. You know, if I put on white face, that would be like what Paul's doing. You know what I'm saying? Like a black man with white face on. So yeah, man, I'm about to be out. I'll be back with another one soon. Look, y'all enjoy the rest of this day. All right, bye.
Live, yeah, I'm saying what they hide. History, innocence, and let the real survive. Yeah, it's truth over comfort, I don't pick no side. If it shake the room a little, let the truth collide. Cause it's Marlon Speaks Live, no script, no disguise. I don't sell no lies, just to monetize. Cause the past still breathing and it never dies. Yeah, it's Marlon Speaks Live, now the truth will rise. Yo, it's Marlon Speaks Live, yeah, I'm saying what they hide. History, innocence, and let the real survive.